going viral in conservative areas in general because, like, you know, American wannabe fascists want to support the Italian fascists. But of course, fascism is unique, okay? You can lock down the weeb contingency when you are an Italian fascist, but then also you can lock down the neoliberal girl boss contingency as well. Here is an article on The Atlantic titled "The Return of Fascism in Italy," with Giorgia Meloni's party leading in the polls ahead of a Sunday's election. The Italian far right is edging closer to power. Okay? And look who it is. Hillary, girl bossing queen. Hillary, girl boss, gaslight, slay queen, queen. Hillary Rodham, Benghazi, never forget Clinton. Let's see what she had to say about this, you know, about this girl boss. From one girl boss to the other. Let's see what she had to say. I mean, I'm sure she hates fascism, right? The election of the first woman prime minister in a country always represents a break with the past, and that is certainly a good thing, Hillary Clinton said to an Italian journalist at the Venice International Film Festival earlier this month. She was speaking of Giorgia Meloni, a member of the Chamber of Deputies, who could make history if the Brothers of Italy party does as well as expected in the Sunday elections. I'm gonna keep it $1.50. I don't think she knows who the fuck Giorgia Meloni was. Okay? I think, like, this is not a defense of Hillary Clinton because it's incredibly fucked up that she said this. Okay? But I'm almost certain that she was like, oh, a woman in a position of power, that seems good. It was her turn, Hasan. Yeah. I mean, 100 years ago, when we had a male fascist, it didn't work out well. But now, 100 years later, we have a female fascist. That's progress. That's glass ceilings being broken. She's gutsy. She's fucking gutsy, dude. Italy going fascist means, oh, dude, yeah. Italy going fascist means making fun of Italian people just went from being fun to important. Exactly. You know, you always got to see the silver lining, okay? And the silver lining of this circumstance is that now it's open season for making fun of Italians, okay? You know, bust out the gabagools over here, all right? You could do Italian Americans. You could make fun of the, oh no, oh Marone, I'm Italiano. Oh no, the sound of my ass cheeks clapping. It's making too much sound. To be honest, I'm an Italian head and think they're actually going to do anything all right-wing parties actually hate each other. Yeah, so there's another part of this that is funny, of course. Italy has a history of not really being able to form like a coalition government that is consistent and is capable of doing anything really. It's like one of those places. One of her allies, of course, one of Giorgia Meloni's allies, from what I understand, is, and correct me if I'm mistaken on this, Italianos, but is one of my favorite politicians, Mr. Bunga Bunga Parties himself. He made a return. I mean, at this point, they should just also bring back the Italian fucking cruise ship guy, okay? Since we're rehashing things that happened all the way throughout my childhood to, like, my adolescent years, bring back the fucking Italian cruise ship guy, too. Fuck it. Put him in a position of power. Who knows? Just be like, hey, man, that guy actually, he was great. Berlusconi, for those of you who don't know, is famous for having Bunga Bunga parties, which is, you know, I mean, if we're going to talk about the fucking Tories being nonces, then we have to talk about Italians who, you know, want to take long breaks in the middle of a day, go away on vacation for 3 months, and then also have crazy sex parties. So there's that too. Berlusconi was famous for that. The Bunga Bunga parties. One of the girls that was in the Bunga Bunga parties was 17 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So there was that too. That was a big mark, a big stain on his reputation, which wasn't big enough for him to not make a return, because he did make a return as well. Berlusconi had collusion with the mafia too. Least surprising conversation of all time. America's involvement in Italian affairs is unironically utilizing the mafia alongside the fascists in post-World War II Italy to kill communists, trade unionists, and even social democrats, and just overall create a state of disarray so that they could form a security apparatus that had to, squash the violence that was coming. So it's called Operation Gladio. It played a fundamental role in the development of NATO. So there's that. But yes, it's just you're referencing Operation Stay Behind and Gladio. Yes, I've talked about it before, but that is our nice little gift to the Italianos because, of course, they could not. No one in Western Europe could have ever allowed the actual victors of World War II to maintain a position of prominence and power after killing the fascists. So there was that. Anyway, so if you want a fun, not conspiracy about Italy, look up Propaganda Do. Thread. Let me explain something about the Italian elections to all the non-Italians who just read mainstream media. The Republican, our coalition, I guess like the right-wing coalition, sorry, not Republican, got 42% of the vote of 64% of Italians who voted. Young Italians were not able to fucking vote. Very old. The demographics are very old. 36% of Italians did not vote. Many lost hope during the Berlusconi years, when there was no real opposition, and in the end, so-called progressive colluded with Berlusconi in many ways. The system is very corrupt. Many young people did not vote because they did not like any of the options. They do not. No, I don't agree with this because there was also a lot of voter suppression happening as well. Right? Italian students and workers who could not travel to their hometown or residence were not allowed to vote. Big failure of the so-called center-left, weak, not caring about the issues of citizens, created a situation where there was no feasible coalition at all. It's literally just America. Anytime a conservative wins in America, and obviously they don't have a duopoly like we do, but basically through collusion, they create the same exact duopoly. Okay? That is exactly what happened in Italy as well, which is like voter suppression, paired up with like inaction from like genuine viable leftist parties and right wingers actually providing a problem and then a solution to said problem. This is how it works everywhere. Okay. The Italianos who did not vote for the right-wing coalition, they're more than 42%, but they did not band together. So because of terrible elections laws and the right coalition that got 42 takes 2/3 of the entire parliament, that 42% represents only 26% of Italians. Nothing new, really. Berlusconi never had more than 25% and stayed in power for 20 abominable years. And he is still there after trials and convictions, never having spent a day in jail. Obviously, in Italy, jail does not exist. They just, you just eat pasta and sleep. So there is that part of that too. Remember, what the fuck did they do to that guy who killed so many people on the cruise ship? I got to go back to the cruise ship guy one more time. The Italian cruise ship guy. In 2012, Francesco Schettino, 52, was being investigated. The Costa Concordia disaster. Here it is. "37 people died. 27 passengers, 5 crew members, and 2 salvage members died. 64 non-fatal injuries." No, people died on the Costa Concordia. What do you mean? Schettino. This guy tanked an entire fucking cruise ship, and then they had a hard time. My bro, you have to watch the video of the Coast Guard telling the motherfucker to get back on board. Yeah, I remember that. It was really good. The Internet Historian Costa Concordia disaster video was pretty good. Famously, we've watched it before. Justice system in Italy is fucked because there's too much corruption. Yeah. It is probably Internet Historian's best video. the Costa Concordia disaster, because it's such an epic fuck up. Titanic level epic fuck up. Anyway, but yeah, that's our girl boss. That's our slay queen. That's our gatekeeper. That would be one sort of break with the past, but Meloni would also represent continuity with Italy's darkest episode, the interwar dictatorship of Benito Mussolini. As Clinton would surely concede, this is not such a good thing. If Meloni comes to power at the end of this month, which she did, it will be as the head of coalition whose members, Matteo Salvini's League, okay, fascism, and Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia, lighter right wing, but you get the point, were each once the main force of Italy's populist right. Brothers of Italy, which was polling at 23% earlier this month, has overtaken these more established parties and would represent the bloc's largest component. Brothers of Italy, which Meloni has led since 2014, has an underlying and sinister familiarity. What might be that underlying and sinister familiarity? The party formed a decade ago to carry forth the spirit and legacy of the extreme right in Italy, which dates back to the Italian Social Movement, MSI, the party that formed in place of the National Fascist Party, which was banned after World War II. Now, just weeks before the 100th anniversary of the March on Rome, the October 1922 event that put Mussolini in power, Italy may have a former MSI activist for its prime minister and a government rooted in fascism. In the words of Ignazio La Russa, Meloni's predecessor as the head of the Brothers in Italy, we are all heirs of Il Duce. So it's not like they're hiding it. As a matter of fact, they're literally running on it, except the one thing that Meloni did that her predecessor did not is basically take just a little bit of the messaging and just massage it. Just massage it a little bit and say something along the lines of like, oh no, we are not descendants of Il Duce, but like, it's a familia. It's a family. They're doing, did you see the big titty? Did you see a gigantic titty teacher in Ontario? Oh, Maron. She's a teacher. Look at her. Look at the boobs. Basically stuff like that. Big old Maloney's. It's just tradition. Meloni, in many ways, sounds more like the modern national conservative politicians, such as Hungary's Viktor Orban, or America's MAGA Republicans than Il Duce. There's a leftist ideology, so-called globalist, she told the Washington Post recently, that aims to consider as an enemy of everything that defined you, everything that has shaped your identity and your civilization. Meloni's enemies list is familiar. LGBT lobbies that are out to harm women and the family by destroying gender identity. George Soros, an international speculator, she has said, who finances global mass immigration that threatens a great replacement of white native-born Italians. Where are the white native-born Italians? I thought Italianos were POC. When did Italianos become white? Italianos are POC, people of color, people of carbonara. Italian leftists here, I actually think this news is being overblown. Meloni will act as a normal European conservative. Yes. But what you also are, failing to recognize here is that the line between normal European conservative and just straight up fucking fascist is becoming, like the distinctive line is basically becoming non-existent with this move. So that's the problem here. Like, all those guys were always fascist adjacent, right? They're on the spectrum, closer towards fascism than anything else, obviously. But at this point, it's like, no, they're so fucking close that they're kissing on it. It's like Masayoshi's fucking monitor in the way he plays Valorant. It's like kissing distance, okay? It's like this. So this is between normal European conservative and fascist, I'm saying. Are you going to play World of Warcraft at launch today? What do you think? No. Meloni shows affinity for authoritarian strongmen like Marine Le Pen, until recently the leader of the National Rally Party in France. Meloni has expressed support for Russian President Vladimir Putin, although she has muted that enthusiasm since his invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, one of the things that she ran on was like, I guess, support for Ukraine, right? Isn't that a thing that she was like posting about a lot? It's just like the battle lines are so strange at this point. Meloni is pro-NATO. This is misleading. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think an Italian fascist is going to be anti-NATO. Hear me out. I could see an Italian fascist being anti-European Union, but I don't think they're going to be anti-NATO. Now, you might think, well, what the fuck? Aren't those like kind of similar ideas? Well, European Union is used by right-wing populists as a, and by the way, they do correctly call this out, as like the institutional control of neoliberal hegemonic power in Europe. There is truth to that, okay? That doesn't mean that they're genuine about their interest in like dissecting the European Union, obviously, or destroying the European Union. After all, Viktor Orban is like has talked shit about that too. Whereas at the same time, Viktor Orban has also suckled on the teat of the European Union. Now, the EU is an economic construct. NATO is a military construct. No, the reason why I'm saying they're not anti-NATO is because without NATO, they would not exist. Post-World War II, there would not necessarily be a serious rise in fascism or fascist parties that developed if it wasn't for fucking NATO. That's the reason why it would be strange for them to turn around and say, well, the historical reason for our existence in this country still, after the fat fucking L that this movement took in World War II, is NATO. So they're not going to be fucking anti-NATO. I hate to be that guy, but it is a symptom of the patriarchy that you are criticizing her before she even got the power. Give a woman a chance in these situations. It's important. Oh, yeah. That guy's joking, by the way, but that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Sweaty. Okay. Meloni is comparable to Le Pen in other ways. Both are examples of what political scientists call gender washing. You know, like it's the same as like when the Israeli Defense Force comes out and says, look at our female warriors, or when they do greenwashing and they'll be like, hey, look, our brigade is vegan. Like, bro, you're still killing 15-year-old Palestinian kids. You know what I mean? It's the gay bomb joke, basically. When the American Navy comes out and says, this is our first LGBT helicopter squad or whatever. And you're like, okay, well, you know, the purpose is still pretty fucked up. Never forget, is Amy Coney Barrett a feminist? Oh my God, that was so bad. But that's not, what the fuck? That's not feminist. Oh my God! If anyone says Amy Coney Barrett is a feminist, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Oh, God damn, I've lost so much fucking weight since even this video. I look like shit. How the fuck? Okay, well, let's see. Barrett. What? Okay, all right. Put every liberal in a fucking spaceship, dude. Send them out to orbit. Are you fucking joking? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God, I hate women. I hate women so much. I've literally never hated women and feminists more in this fucking very moment than I do right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Fucking, oh God, I hate women so much. Oh! What is happening, dude? Oh, stop. I can't. We got him, boys. Clip it and ship it. I looked fucking pasty. I looked sick. That's from February. God, Summer agrees with me, okay? Summer agrees with me. I love Summer. This is unrelated to the main subject at hand. Both are examples of what political science calls gender washing, when female politicians adopt a non-threatening image to blunt their force of their extremism. Meloni's signature look involves flowing outfits in pastel shades. To uninformed foreigners, her assent could look like female empowerment. She poses as a defender of women, even as her party has rolled back women's rights in localities it governs. Brothers of Italy has made abortion services, the procedure has been legal in Italy since 1978, harder to access. Municipal authorities in Verona, where the party has shared power with the Salvini's League, declared the city a pro-life. What's happening to your hairline? How is she not? How is Amy COVID Barrett not a feminist? I don't know. Maybe because she straight up was, put in a position of power to radically undermine women's bodily autonomy by banning abortion, criminalizing abortion. The Supreme Court decision that allowed every red state to criminalize abortion. I know, okay, you weren't being serious. Got it. Okay. Meloni and her French counterpart diverge, however, over their respective movements' extremist history. Le Pen pushed her father out of the leadership role of the National Front because of his overt racism and Holocaust denialism. Meloni, though,